All right, everybody, Thursday, February 12th, and we are sitting on the edge of one of the most consequential pattern flips of the entire winter season. What is about to unfold over the next 2 weeks is not a single storm. It is a parade of 3 to 4 major systems riding an extreme jet stream configuration that is going to deliver severe weather to the south, a potential major snowstorm to the northeast, feet of snow to the western mountains, dangerous flooding to California, and record-challenging warmth across the central United States, all happening simultaneously. The PNA index, which tells us how tilted the jet stream is crashing to a -3 and staying there until at least the 20th. That means a deep, persistent trough locked along the west coast and a towering ridge across the central and eastern states, and that setup is going to get more extreme with each passing day. Let me walk you through everything that is coming because there are critical details that have changed in the last 24 hours. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. Let me start with the storm arriving tomorrow because this is now less than 24 hours away. A low-pressure system ejects out of the southern Rockies and into the south-central United States by Friday afternoon. The severe weather threat is real but has shifted further south and slightly west compared to earlier model runs. The CAPE values, which measure the fuel available for thunderstorms, are concentrated across eastern Texas, Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and Mississippi as we go from Friday evening into Saturday. The threat zone has actually pulled away from northern Arkansas and the Tennessee Valley compared to what we were seeing 2 days ago, which focuses the energy into a tighter corridor along the Gulf states. Here is the city-by-city timeline. Friday evening, storms develop across eastern Texas and into Louisiana. Dallas sees rain and gusty thunderstorms. Houston gets heavy rain Friday night. Shreveport and Monroe are in the prime zone for the strongest storms Friday evening into Saturday morning. By Saturday, the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk posted for eastern Texas through Louisiana into southeastern Oklahoma and southern Arkansas. This is where the dynamics are strongest. Little Rock catches storms Saturday morning into afternoon but is now on the northern fringe of the main severe activity. Texarkana and El Dorado are in the heart of the threat zone. The strongest updrafts and wind shear Saturday afternoon through evening are centered on Louisiana from Shreveport south through Alexandria to Lake Charles and across into Mississippi. Jackson picks up the severe threat Saturday evening. The squall line develops a QLCS structure, a quasi-linear convective system, as it pushes east with damaging straight-line winds and the potential for embedded tornadoes along the leading edge. Saturday night into Sunday morning, the line drives into Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. Birmingham and Montgomery catch damaging winds late Saturday night. Mobile and Pensacola see storms overnight. Memphis gets gusty storms Saturday evening, but the strongest activity stays to the south. By Sunday, a marginal risk covers the southeast. Atlanta sees storms Sunday morning into afternoon. Macon and Columbus get hit Sunday afternoon. Nashville and Knoxville see rain and gusty winds Sunday morning. Charlotte picks up rain and embedded storms Sunday afternoon. Savannah and Jacksonville catch activity Sunday afternoon into evening. The Florida Panhandle from Tallahassee to Panama City sees the tail end overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. Now, here is where I need to be completely straight with you about the biggest question mark in this entire forecast: the northeast snowstorm potential. This is still sitting at roughly 50-50, and I am going to explain exactly why. As this southern storm system pushes northeast from the Gulf states through the southeast by Sunday, it approaches the mid-Atlantic and northeast Sunday evening into Monday. The million-dollar question is whether this low pressure tracks close to the coast or stays further offshore. If the low tracks close to the coast, which is what the latest European model run is showing, the warm Atlantic air gets pulled in, and it becomes a warmer scenario with rain, a wintry mix, and limited snow for the big coastal cities. If the low tracks further offshore, the cold air stays locked in, and you get a proper nor'easter with heavy snow and potentially blizzard conditions from the wind field that develops with cyclogenesis. The European model, which runs 50 ensemble members, is showing this roughly split down the middle. About half the members deliver a major snowstorm and the other half bring a warmer washout. The Canadian model with 20 ensembles is showing a similar split but has been trending slightly north, which actually favors the interior Northeast and New England for snow while pulling the threat away from the mid-Atlantic coast. The GFS is not showing much confidence at all, with only about 2 of its 30 members producing significant snow. Here is what that means for specific cities. New York City, Long Island, and the New Jersey coast are looking less likely for a major snow event, as the trend has shifted the storm track slightly north and closer to shore. I would put snowfall chances for the city at maybe 2 to 4 inches, with the potential for it to be mostly rain if the warm scenario wins out. Philadelphia and the Delaware Valley are in a similar boat, probably 1 to 3 inches at best, with a higher chance of rain mixing in. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore look like mainly a rain and wind event at this point. The storm track has moved away from favoring the mid-Atlantic for snow. The interior Northeast is a different story. Western and upstate New York from Syracuse through Albany and into the Adirondacks has a much better chance for significant snow, potentially 6 to 12 inches if the timing works out. The European model's latest run showed a quick-hitting event that could dump over a foot in the favored spots of interior New England. Boston is in the transition zone where this could go either way, perhaps 3 to 8 inches if the colder solution wins, but potentially just a cold rain if the storm hugs the coast. Hartford and Worcester have better odds than the coast, maybe 4 to 8 inches. Burlington and the Vermont mountains could see 6 to 12 inches. Portland, Maine, and the Down East region have strong snow chances, potentially 8 to 14 inches. The wind component is significant regardless of precipitation type. If this storm undergoes cyclogenesis as it pulls offshore, which multiple models support, wind gusts of 50 to 70 miles per hour along the coast are possible Monday into Monday night. That means blizzard conditions are on the table for whoever gets the heavy snow combined with those winds. The Northeast coast from the Outer Banks to Maine needs to prepare for a high wind event even if the snow does not materialize. Now here is the critical thing about timing. Even if this does produce a major snowstorm for the interior Northeast and New England on Monday, the temperatures are surging right behind it. By Monday afternoon into Tuesday, highs climb into the upper 30s and 40s across much of the region. New England holds on to its snow longest, but anything that falls across the mid-Atlantic or even the Hudson Valley is likely to melt quickly. This would be a hit-and-run snowstorm, intense but short-lived for many areas. Shifting to the West Coast because this is the story that is going to dominate the national weather picture for the next 2 weeks. The deep trough is now dropping into position, and it is going to sit there and rotate storm after storm through California, Oregon, and Washington from this weekend all the way through at least the 20th. We are talking 3 to 4 distinct storm systems stacking on top of each other in what amounts to a siege. The snowfall for the western mountains is extraordinary. The Sierra Nevada is on track for 5 to 10 feet of additional accumulation through this extended event. The Cascades add several more feet. The Rockies from Colorado through New Mexico see significant snow. Even the Four Corners and northern Arizona pick up meaningful totals. For cities, Sacramento faces repeated rounds of heavy rain with growing flood concerns. San Francisco sees heavy rain and gusty winds through the middle of next week. Los Angeles and Southern California are staring down an extended heavy rainfall event, with the Weather Prediction Center maintaining a high-risk designation that has actually expanded further south. San Diego gets soaked. The moderate risk for flooding has shifted to focus on Central and Southern California. Portland and Seattle deal with extended periods of rain. Salt Lake City picks up valley snow from multiple waves. Denver clips periodic snow showers off the eastern edge of the trough. Flagstaff could see significant accumulation. Wind gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour hammer lower elevations across the west, with mountain passes seeing 60 to 80 plus. Travel through the Sierras and Cascades will be extremely dangerous for an extended period. The flash flood threat is escalating. Friday already has a marginal risk posted, and Saturday now carries a slight risk centered on the Little Rock area and the Texarkana corridor. Sunday adds another marginal from the southeast through the mid-Atlantic. California's flood threat grows more dangerous with each passing day as the atmospheric river events stack up. Meanwhile, the false spring warmth continues to intensify. Friday and Saturday see the warm anomaly concentrated across the southern states, with Dallas in the 70s, Houston approaching 80, Oklahoma City in the upper 60s, and the Deep South in the 60s to 70s. The Northeast stays cooler for the weekend with highs in the 30s, to low 40s as the storm approaches. But by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, as the ridge amplifies dramatically, the warmth surges north. Chicago pushes into the 50s. Minneapolis approaches 50. Kansas City and St. Louis hit the 60s. Omaha reaches the upper 50s. Des Moines hits the mid-50s. The entire Central Plains runs 20 to 40 degrees above normal. It is going to feel like early April for millions of Americans. And the pattern does not stop after this first round. Once this weekend's storm exits, the next system is already loading up along the west coast. Each successive storm rides the jet stream further north as the ridge builds higher, meaning later systems could bring snow and severe weather to areas further north than this first one targets. So here's your bottom line. Tomorrow into Sunday brings severe weather to the Gulf states with damaging winds, hail, and isolated tornadoes focused on Louisiana, Mississippi, and southern Arkansas. The northeast snowstorm is a coin flip that favors the interior and New England over the coast, with potential for 6 inches to a foot plus in the favored zones, but the risk of a warm washout for the major coastal cities. The West Coast faces a 2-week siege of storms bringing 5 to 10 feet of mountain snow and dangerous flooding for California. The fall-spring warmth intensifies dramatically next week, and more storms are lined up behind this one. I will be tracking every development and updating daily. Stay safe out there, and we will talk again very soon.